I'm offering this item for sale as well. This item is not mine, obviously. It's mine, but it's not my art. This is a print, and the print is of a piece of art entitled "His Master's Voice." This was given to me by the woman who bought our home in Frenchtown. And it actually wasn't given to me. It was given to my ex-husband, and he left it behind. But I've taken ownership of this, not just because he left it behind, but because of the memories that are involved in this particular print for me. The print itself really has little value, even with the antique frame. The significance for me in keeping this piece and offering it up for sale is the memories that are associated with this particular piece, His Master's Voice. My mother, I've told you, is Korean, but my dad was American. He was a GI in the Army, and his family lived in Connecticut. That's where I grew up, where we settled. And his dad and his brother and he were all involved in the family business. And in rural Connecticut, that family business was selling stereos and doing television repairs. Back in the day, when you had to repair a TV, it was a huge console TV. It was impossible to move. And it had picture tubes and stuff like that. And so my dad and his brother and his dad would do house calls. And he had a store in Goshen. It was called Star TV, where he had on display the sculpture of His Master's Voice. He had the dog in the window with a Victrola, and he sold RCA. He sold RCA and Zenith TVs, and back then they were big console things, you know. Even the stereo system, the record player, was a huge console that took up half the living room. That's how it worked. And so I would go to see my grandfather rarely at the Goshen store. And sometimes I would go like with my dad on call, you know, to other people's houses. And then when he was on call, especially because he worked the Sharon area. But this made me think of my grandfather. And when I was going through the items that were left behind for me, and this painting that my ex-husband no longer wanted, my grandfather's voice said, "Go ahead, sell it." And so I looked up the value, and it really doesn't have any value to speak of. You know, I've seen this print on eBay and stuff. So what I'm going to do is just auction this piece off. I'm going to auction this piece off to the highest bidder. If you want to submit a bid, please send me a message or put a comment. And I'm going to see what I can fetch for this, because it has no real value, but there's something intrinsic attached to it, and I have permission to sell it. So let's see what that is. His Master's Voice.